Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It is Federation Friday. This week, we are teeing up a brand new series to some of us. I've never watched the original series from beginning to end.
What?
I've seen them here and there. I've dribs and drabs when I'm flipping through Pluto TV. So, and there's certain things like, I got to watch Space Seed because I got to learn about Star Trek 2. So let me watch Space Seed. So I've watched the ones that are instrumental in the world of Trek, but never the entire series front to back. So this was brand new for me. And Jeff, what is your experience with Star Trek?
Originally?
Yeah, well, like
the very beginning?
How many times have you seen this thing?
Man, I don't know how. I didn't count. I just seen it a lot, but I learned something new this time around, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I've been watching reruns since the 70s, bro.
And Deb?
Well, I think I was probably about 4 or 5 when they originally came out. Now, I don't know if I watched them. I swear to God, I watched them when they originally aired. My older brother got me into it. And I watched them on rerun all the time because there was nothing else. There was no more Star Trek after that until much later, till we got the motion picture. But
see, I wasn't born until '69 when they were done by then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, gee, Deb, holy moly!
Yes,
you
I'm
originally watched them?
I was born in '63, so
Get out.
Yeah.
See, I was born in '65, so you're just a couple of years older.
Oh my God, I'm older than everybody.
Welcome to the podcast.
Great. Thank you. I am
the
now the senior member of the group. Yeah, I'll be 60 this December.
Right on.
Wow. Got those bionics working, right?
Yep.
So, when I was heavily into Next Generation, I would go to the comic book store, and I wouldn't buy the comics. I would buy the books associated with the TV, and I picked this one up.
That's a cool book.
It's kind of, I guess it's a breakdown of each episode. So I was hoping this would help me out, but
there are little synopsis and pictures, I think, right? This is the same book I was thinking about.
Does it just give you a synopsis of it?
Yeah.
Well, it gives me, let's see.
Supposed to have some behind the scenes pictures and all that.
I guess it's the script.
Is it?
Well, it says, yeah, because this is the cage, and it's got Spock and number 1, and it starts off with dolly shot beginning at elevator. The whine of the ship's high-speed turbo elevator. Then the door snaps open, and Robert April, captain of the USS Enterprise, steps out into the scene and crosses toward the docking hatch.
Wait.
And then it actually has, I don't know if you guys can see on
Robert April.
Yeah, rewrites.
This side. Well, this is actual this is text like a script. It says Crowley, you know, and then it says April interrupting. You fired on friendly aliens. So
It's probably the
I
original script or something.
guess it's like the working, like the original.
The pilot never, because I remember he did a script to pitch the ideal, then he did a script to hand into the show for what it's going to be. So that probably explains a lot right there. Probably the original script.
And then it goes into, let's see, I hate left and right. So then you have, I don't know.
Your military right, sir.
I don't know. Oh, but is that it? Yeah, that's it. Right there. It says, Stardate unknown, the USS Enterprise is en route to the nearest Federation starbase for rest, relaxation, repairs, and replenishment of personnel lost during the exploration of Rigel 7. So
That starts before this episode.
so that tells you where the ship is going at the beginning of the episode. And I guess that's a good place to start, because Pike is not, I would say Pike is more along the lines of Kirk from Star Trek II. You know, he's talking to the doctor in that first scene where you meet the doctor, and they're having a drink together, and he says, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. I want out. And I thought that scene was pretty neat and pretty telling, that Pike he's tired of it. He's tired of losing crew members, and the whole Rigel 7 thing has really affected him somehow. So when we have them drinking, I think that doctor, I think he's pretty cool. What do you think of the doctor?
Well, I mean, he's no McCoy, but there is some relationship.
Damn it, Jim!
Yeah, there is a relationship between him and Pike, and I couldn't resist watching the very next episode because it goes into the man trap. But to watch those two episodes back to back and to see the total difference of the ensemble in their chemistry, to me, it was like day and night, because Pike is very stoic, you know, seems like he's very by the book. I mean, he didn't even want to go to Talos in the first place, you know, unless he had proof that there were survivors. You know, he didn't want to go down and check it out anyways. But yeah, I don't think Kirk would have done that. Kirk would have been like, hell yeah, let's go. But the relationship with Kirk, Bones, and Spock is so different. And you can just see, I mean, the first scene, chemistry right away. You can just see they work so well together, and they have that they work off of each other, you know, the little banter, which is probably my favorite part of the original series, is that banter and the friendship between Spock, Kirk, and Bones. So, but yeah, he has a relationship with, I think the doctor's name is Boyce.
Yes. Now, I was trying to find it on IMDb. What's the name of the doctor on Strange New Worlds?
I don't know. I forgot.
Well, I know they have. Where's my phone? I know they have Nurse Chapel, or maybe she's the doctor. I don't know because they kind of no. I don't know. I don't know if
She's
they've
still a
changed
nurse.
things that much.
No, she's still a Nurse Chapel.
Okay.
But she's now the kick-ass Nurse Chapel.
Let's see. Would you know they don't? I don't even see him listed.
Maybe he's
That's something
uncredited, you know?
Oh, his Dr. Mabanga.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he has his daughter's in the transporter buffering.
Uh-oh.
she was.
Spoiler alert.
She's stuck in there?
No, he has her
Yep.
kept in here because she has a disease that's killing her.
Progressing. Yeah.
Have you not watched Strange New Worlds?
No.
Oh my
I know
God!
he hasn't.
No.
Because
Spoiler
he
alert.
fights new things.
I'll watch that when we get to it in 6 years.
Nah. It's an excellent show.
It
I
is.
like what
It's
they did
really
with it.
good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
So
It's good.
It's coming out, what, June, right?
June 15,
12th?
yeah.
Yeah, 12th, 15th.
So she's in like transporter stasis.
Yeah,
Kind
kind of
of
like Scotty was stuck in
Yeah.
TNG. Remember?
Right.
It's
Okay.
kind of like that.
Is that what I was thinking of? Because I was going to say I remember that being a plot point somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Scotty
thing.
was stuck there for I don't know, ungodly amount.
Years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years. Because he was the same age as in Generations.
hmm
And that's supposed to be like what? Years later, I think? I'm not sure. No, years before. Yeah. 23rd, 24th, 25th century, something like that. I don't know what year Next Generation takes place.
Now, do you think, like you said, Pike didn't want to go down to the planet? He was just being, I guess, I'm tired. I want to go home and
Yeah, he was over it.
go on my picnic on my ranch with my horses.
The horse.
Yeah, and then they get a signal that you have life. They get that distress call that's 18 years old, right?
hmm
Something like that. Is it like 18? And do you think that was those aliens? Do you think they sent the distress call? Could they sense Pike was the one they wanted for their experiments?
I don't know
And
if
that's why
if they sensed him in particular. I think, it was a trap for anybody because they did have a collection of aliens there down below on the planet. So I just think they used that to get whoever to come down and hopefully they would be a match for the girl. What's her name? Viv?
Well, she was a
bad with names.
manifestation also, right? She was fake too.
No, she was real.
She's
Y'all wait till later on down the road. Because remember, she's all mangled.
So that was her, the real her, the mangle from the,
And then
because she was
she became beautiful.
So when they say the ship, when she was born as the ship, or right before the ship crashed. So did she get injured from the crash as a baby and then grew up? Or was the distress call fake?
It's a trap. It was
Wrong
that
franchise.
part. Yeah, that part of the message, or I mean, yeah, she did crash, but her telling Pike that, or whoever it was, I forget who it was. Maybe it was one of the Talis, Talesians or whatever. Said that she was born as a crash. That was a lie. That was determined to be a lie. And now I'm Maury.
I took it a different way, and I saw it 3 times, so I don't know.
So tell us what you thought.
I think she was part of the crash, part of the original crew, but one of the last ones. And she was injured, and they took her under their wing, and they were trying to get more of her species because remember, they were trying to help species out. So they were wanting a male counterpart to be with her.
It's true, she was the last survivor, but she was not a baby. She was an adult. And they tried to put her together, but they had never seen a human before, so that's why she's all Hunchback of Notre Dame looking.
Ah.
I thought it was because of the accident. I don't know.
No. They just didn't
Okay.
know how to put her back together.
So they're kind of like what is that? Dr. Death from here in Dallas, right? Now, what did you guys think about Spock's first appearance?
Oh my God.
It's horrible. I think it's horrible.
It was. It was horrible.
He kept it into the first show. Come on. His eyebrows are all funky from that and the next show. The one you saw, Deb, you'll see his eyebrows.
Oh yeah, his eyebrows are all
way up high.
Or, really hairy. And then when you go to the very next episode, they're very streamlined and nice and thin. And yeah. And the fact, yeah.
They went from this way to this way. They dropped it like 90 degrees or something.
Yeah, because his eyebrows were very extreme in that first episode. Yeah. It was very weird. And I think his coloring was different from the first episode to the second episode because he looked like a normal human. I mean, he didn't look Vulcan, as because they usually have some kind of a tint to him. At least I think he does normally, but he didn't in this first episode. And he was laughing or smiling.
Yeah.
That was
when they tickled the plants, he's like,
yeah, it's like, what the hell?
And then that opening scene. I mean, that's what there are a lot of Spock impersonators out there, and I think the one thing they miss, like Spock from this episode, from the first, was, I mean, he was very loud.
Yes.
Yelling, like that scene when they come to the bridge and he's like, you see him for the first time and he's like, okay, turn on the evaporators. And you're like, oh, what are you doing?
Now he hadn't found his inner Spock yet, He was working on the character. Because he said in an interview, I remember, he was working on the character of the pilot. When they asked him to redo, he was a lot different Spock because he wanted to change things up. Him and Roddenberry worked on that. That's the reason why the Cage Spock and the first episode, I can't remember the name of it, but Debbie knows it. She saw it. That's why his mannerisms are a little bit different.
Oh, the man trap?
Yeah, the man trap. Mm-hmm. That was a different Spock than the original. Like I said, he was working on his Spock.
Totally.
He was working on being Spock. Yep.
So they get the signal and they go down to the planet. Is it Talos?
Talos. Yes. Talos.
Something.
7, I think.
Talos and a number.
I don't remember.
I'm not good with Roman numbers. So. It's at It's a I and a V, whatever that is in Roman numerals.
4.
4.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, because
What
V
is
is
5?
5. V.
Yeah, that I know.
V is okay.
V is
So
5.
you have,
But then when you
and
add all
where's
those other little things, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And
well,
I don't care.
you have
V1 is 6. V1
look,
7.
this is how I learned
V1 8.
Well, this is how I learned it is V is 5 and the 1 is before the 5, so 1 before 5 is 4.
You
If you say so.
want to hear something funny? Do you remember that TV movie called V that came out in the 80s?
The alien.
Yeah, that was the
It
fifth
was the
one.
alien thing. That to me was like when I first saw it, my brain clicking as 5. What's this 5 about? And then my brother's like, "Well, no, stupid, it's V." I'm like, V? Why'd you think it's 5? I'm like, I don't know. But my mind went right to Roman numerals, right? That when I saw that TV show. Still to this day, I think it's 5. I don't know why.
Well, that's the thing. Like in ancient Rome, when they would go, can he, they're like, could you give me a half dozen of bagels? And they're like, what's a half dozen? I want 5. I want 6. 6 is a half dozen, or is that?
That's 4.
I don't know.
6.
And you're like, you sure? You sure that's not only 3? But yeah, so they go down to the planet, and they tinkle with the
Pretty blue
Watch
plant
out.
life.
There's
And-
censors on YouTube.
So yeah, so they go down to the planet, and
Yeah.
so they, which I'm saying is, don't touch anything.
Why?
Especially musical plants. Don't touch them. But we're gonna go touching everything. But that hum in the background, the sound of the entire planet is kind of freaky, and it reminds me of, I don't know, like the old time. And I guess this is, because it was done in the same generation. It reminds me of Lost in Space and stuff like that, where there would always be like a whoo, some kind of sound in the background. And so they go down to, and when they get down there, they meet the old crew of the supposed crash ship, where they say they've been on there for 18 years, and the one guy's saying, well, we can move faster than light now. We'll have you home in no time. And then as soon as he says that, you hear everything stops, and they all turn and look, and there she is. The what was her name?
Her name
The blonde chick, you mean?
Vina.
Yeah, the one right next to Debbie on the screen, because that's all 3 of her, right?
Yes.
No,
So she
I don't
goes-
think so. Is it?
Yeah.
I thought the green chick was someone different.
No, it's her.
You're right. Okay.
Her name's Vina.
Yeah, because Vina. Right. So they go down, and she's there, and
Did we lose you, John?
I thought I lost you.
Oh,
But
well, that was a moment of silence for those Vulcans up there. Thank you so kindly. All right.
was quiet time.
I just thought you had a brain fart or something. I get them all the time.
Well, yeah, I'm having sound issues again.
Mm. Well, you sound good on this end.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I just can't hear myself.
Okay.
So
Don't lose your thought. Go for it.
I got no thoughts.
You forgot which version are you watching anyway? We forgot to talk about that.
Well, I'm watching the Paramount Plus version,
Okay,
which is the full
extended.
the full color version.
That's the enhanced version.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because I started again watching the version on the DVD that I have, which starts out in black and white.
Yeah, well, it's because it goes black and white. The colors all the scenes for the menagerie, so that's why you see it stitched together. Did it have Gene Roddenberry talk at the beginning?
It did.
Okay, That's the one I showed you. That's the extended version, because the extended version has Gene Roddenberry's introduction. Then you see it as was supposed to be the way it's shown, and he said somewhere in black and white because those are scenes that they didn't use for the menagerie, and they want them colorized for the series. And then he had a thing at the end of it. Really cool.
Yeah,
that was on VHS first, I think.
I didn't get to the end of the one that jumps because that's when he says that we're going to. You'll see some parts are in black and white, some parts are in color.
Yeah,
and the color one is what we used for the Menagerie two-parter.
Yep.
So what did you guys think? One. You watched. Now, what's the third version?
Okay, so I watched that one they stitched together. Then this other one is called, let me look here, the enhanced version, which is all the special effects which you see on Paramount Plus. And then they have the original version. So what they did was they took all the black and white scenes and treated those films like they did with the one they first put together, so that everything's all in color again. So it kind of makes it more uniform. But that's why you saw those two looking scenes, because the first one was in black and white. And the second one was color, but like blue outline with white, saying Star Trek. And then the enhanced had the whole galaxy thing. What do you call it, Debbie?
The galaxy thing. That's what I called it.
I forgot what you call it originally, but that I guess maybe you said that. But yeah.
So when they're so that whole crew that was on the planet, they were all fake.
Yes.
They were imagination. They were what do you call it?
Illusion.
Space voodoo.
Okay. And
not doo-doo, voodoo.
So then Vina comes out from behind and everybody's tongue rolls out like Jim Carrey's in The Mask, and they're all like, "Ooga!" when she comes walking out.
I didn't see that version.
No, but you could see Pike's eyes just kind of light up. You knew he was attracted to her.
I think everybody was. I think Spock winked, right?
Yeah, his eyebrows went up and he's like, "Ooh," something piqued his interest. So did they?
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Did they follow? He followed them, right? He stayed with, or did they? They didn't like beam him out or anything.
The crew was doing their thing. No, the crew was doing their thing, helping him out, and he went up to the mountain with the chick because she's like, "Hey, let me show you something."
Yeah, she said she had something to show him that was.
Oh,
I bet she does have something to show him. Yeah.
You kicked her off the show, dude?
Did I lose internet?
There you are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're back.
But yeah. I even forgot what I said.
I didn't hear what you said.
She said
You went on to the great beyond and back.
you were saying how Vina had something.
Yeah, that something that was
Yeah.
remarkable. She needed to show him. Yeah, wink, wink. And then when she got him by himself, then she disappeared, and the Talos people came out and took him down the elevator. And then that's when the crew was like, "Oh my God, they've got the captain!" And they tried to shoot, they tried to shoot the door in, and to no avail.
I like those laser cannons. Like, can they make it any bigger?
So when is that when they put him in the cage?
It's,
Right before they grabbed him, they had something that squirted some orange dust, and it knocked him out, and that's when they grabbed him and took him down and then put him in a cell, and then he woke up.
He woke up next to the bear and the giant bird.
Yeah, whatever that was.
And I guess
Costume design was just top tier.
hey, they're working with what they got, you know?
I mean, back then it was probably cool. I don't remember a whole lot of what I thought about the costuming back then, but now it's just every time, when they come out with the dog with the unicorn horn, I forget what episode that is. That'll be coming up. But yeah, that just cracks me up every time I see it. I'm just like, wow. Imagination.
I thought it had those little things that waved on springs. I can't remember though, man.
Welcome, Marty McD. How are you, sir?
Very good. Thanks for having me tonight. I apologize, but my slingshot calculations were a little off. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you buy a gently used processor from a Ferengi.
Yeah. So we're talking the cage, as you know, and we're up to Vina saying she's got something special to show Pike up in the caves, and wink, wink, say no more.
She sure does. Although after being put back together without a guide map, I'm not sure exactly where that would be, but let's hope the Telosians were had good instincts. Let me leave it at that.
Oh my God, now we lost John. What is going on?
I don't know. So I'm sorry. I didn't know you're coming by. You said your name is Marty?
Yes.
Okay. Nice to meet you. I'm Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Debs.
I'm Debbie.
Hey, Debbie. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
All right.
So this is the part of the podcast where we go, let's fill in the time. Debbie, what were your thoughts on the cage? You said you got questions. Let's figure them out.
No, I didn't have questions. I was just, it's interesting because, this episode wasn't even originally aired when it first came out because the NBC. Oh my God.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we are.
What is going on?
Man, that space-time continuum thing is messing with me.
Oh, yeah.
Might be my Ferengi processor again.
Oh. John, what are you doing, dude?
I'm not doing anything.
He's playing around.
Everything is.
Do I salute? Do I stand?
What? Playing musical chairs.
What the hell's going on?
You're making me stink.
Oh my gosh.
We lost our background, I think.
This
is.
is.
There it is.
Oh my God.
There we are.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
I'm not doing anything.
This is a story.
Oh,
Do we all have to do like this now?
Is this because StreamYard took over?
Oh, what's that? What it is? 30-minute show?
Why is Amby Davis in the middle of my
30
screen?
minutes?
We're at 36 minutes. Anyways, as
and
I was saying,
and we're 15 minutes into the show.
anyways,
36 minutes too long.
the NBC executives, in their infinite knowledge and intelligence, thought that this episode was too cerebral for your average audience, and so they did not want to air this, and that's why they had to come up with the second pilot.
They were fortunate though, because not everybody gets a second pilot. They said it was very rare that they did do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was super rare back then. I mean, it's rare today, but it was practically unheard of. But a lot of it had to do with the sets being built, which was the expensive part. So they were built and ready to go. So why not give it a second try?
Now, is this before or after Lucille Ball stepped in?
During.
This is before.
She was the one that greenlit Star Trek to do the pilot, the second one. Remember?
Yep. Lucy believed in the project, and she was the one who said, "Go ahead, do another. Let's see where we go."
Yep. So you thank Lucy, kids, for Star Trek.
The grandmother of Star Trek.
Right?
How we never got a USS Ricardo on screen, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Or a Klingon named
I'm pretty
Mertz.
sure it's somewhere in the show. That's cool.
So we have so he's now captured, and he's playing a mental battle, right, with the butthead aliens who look like they're about to have a stroke because the veins are popping off the side of their head.
Can I just say how good that makeup holds up even now?
I was just going to say that, because it's like, we were just making fun of the other costumes, but that stood the test of time because it practically looked flawless. I mean, just the little pulsating of the veins, and
and that was all controlled by the actor with an air pump, just casually pumping away at it. And it like I said, I think it holds up remarkably well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the actor didn't really have anything to do other than stand there.
Well, there was a few lines here and there.
Well, it was all post, right?
But with
except at the very end.
So he's just standing and go.
Actually, that's how they were doing their lines. If you look carefully, it's Morse code coming through the vein.
Yeah. But we have now. He goes, and there's so much going on between the alien race and what they were explaining to Pike, like, what they're doing and the people that they're trying to find. Were they repopulating the humans, or was it just their zoo?
I think it's the planet, just the planet itself, because for many, many years, the top side of the planet wasn't habitable.
To me, it's almost like they wanted to rebuild their civilization and didn't care exactly what race it was that did it, because we do see other, I assume, sentient creatures in other cages. So maybe they were just seeing who was best suited to hand off all their technology and, their archives and their civilization.
And they're trying to bribe him with, because now we had talked in the beginning about, do you think the Telosians were able to sense Pike aboard the Enterprise when they sent that distress call? Was the distress call fake, and were they did they see him and send that out just to get him down there because he had said, I'm not going, let's just keep on moving, there's no life, and heard him or heard the doctor talking about the slave girls, the green slave girls, and that's why they turned her, they gave her the appearance of the Orion slave girl?
That's
I
a good
forgot your
question.
Okay,
Go
well,
ahead,
since
man.
that's a good, I'll give you.
Well,
I was waiting
Now
for you to
that
jump back in. That was a teasing.
I have a theory that the whole conversation that he has with Boyce in his cabin might have not happened. It could have been in his head. Could have been the Telosians projecting to him at that point, telling him what he needed to hear. So I think to me, there's enough subtle evidence there to indicate that they were somehow manipulating the situation.
So, that's your Star Trek theory?
Yeah, we can go with that. Sure.
Because I don't know. I can't tell because, it seems like everything that he asked for from that conversation, the horses, the picnic lunch, everything in that conversation happened later in the episode.
Down to the sugar cubes.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely within their sphere of influence to have done that. And when we think about it, right, jumping ahead a couple of years, when we do the menagerie, they're manipulating the entire situation clear off to a starbase, light years away. So I think it's more than possible.
So what happens to Pike that he's in the wheelchair?
We don't know. Well, unless you've watched Strange New Worlds.
Well, I think they do reference it in the menagerie that there was an accident.
Yeah, there was an accident, but I don't think they go into great detail about it. But they had to use another actor because Jeffrey was not available because he went
was
on
dead.
No, he didn't die till 69.
Yeah, he died young, but he was still alive back then. He was committed to might have been the Searchers, but I think he was committed to another picture at that time.
Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty in-demand actor. I mean, God, he was good looking. He was in King of Kings. He played Jesus Christ, and he was, like you said, he was in The Searchers with John Wayne, and he was in a ton of other movies. He didn't do too well because there was another series that he tried to do that only lasted 20 episodes and they dropped it, but he was pretty big in the movie.
Jesus Christ and Captain of the Enterprise, call it a career.
Yeah. And working with John Wayne, so
I'm working with John Wayne.
Can't get any better than that.
And he's fantastic in The Searchers. If anybody's seen it, it's classic. Highly recommend it.
I have seen all John Wayne movies.
Oh,
my family was obsessed with John
with the Duke,
Wayne.
huh?
Yes.
So Marty, when was the first time? Because I am no longer the youngest on the block now.
Know that feeling.
So
I'm the senior.
So when was the? It's like
Hey,
high
man,
school
I'm only
right
23.
here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe
Don't let this fool you.
Maybe your mustache is 23.
It's been rocking since '85, man.
So when did you first come across Star Trek?
Probably when I was 3 or 4 years old. Channel 11 here in New York, WPIX, one of the all-time great independent stations, would play it on the weekends. Saturdays around 6:00. And that's where I first really discovered it. And then when I got older and realized it was on every night at midnight, so I would say 10, 11-ish, that's when I kind of went full force into it. But when I was a kid, I had all the Mego action figures. I had the bridge. I had the phaser that shot out the little discs. I even had the Captain Kirk parachute toy. You remember that episode. And yeah, him and my Planet of the Apes parachute guy used to go jumping together. So, I was very lucky that during that time when I was 4, 5, 6, that's when like the second wave really hit. And that's when there was a lot of merchandise. It was syndicated. It was really picking up steam at that point.
That had to be 76 or 77, right?
Yeah, I definitely by 70, 75, 76. 76, I remember distinctly that was the Christmas I got my Spock and my McCoy and my Kirk and I got my bridge set with a little button that you pushed and they'd spin around. Still have it someplace. Yeah, and it was around 76, 77. It really exploded because of another little franchise that came along, and then we kind of rolled right into the movie from there. But I
got some news for you about that.
Okay.
So before Star Wars, there was Phase 2 Roddenberry is working on with Desilu Productions before Star Wars. After Star Wars, they put a little fire in their butts to get things going. But Phase 2 was supposed to be a second show.
That's right.
And they used a lot of the costumes for the, the first episode. What was that first movie called? The motion picture? Yeah. Yep. Desilu.
Yep. And if you've ever gone on YouTube, when you go on YouTube, you can actually pull up some of the test footage that they did, the new warp core, some of the ancillary sets.
Like there's on one of these.
What was that?
See, I got a whole bunch of special features on these.
Yeah, it might be on those.
So
but,
I wonder, it might be on here because I remember seeing them somewhere.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's amazing though is they were even going old school uniforms, which I loved. It would have been Phase 2 would have been damn interesting, that's for sure. There's a lot of footage out there with Zahn the Vulcan, who was going to take over for Nimoy, who later wound up playing the commander of the Epsilon station. That's some conciliary prize. But that Phase 2 was actually Phase 2, if I remember correctly, that was going to be a 2-parter or a TV movie that was going to launch, for lack of a better word, the Paramount Network. They were trying to do, at that time, it would have been the 4th network, because this is pre-Fox. And with the success of Star Wars, they just gave them an influx of cash and said, go do that. And the rest is history.
Yep.
So, we started this 50 minutes ago, and I can't remember.
And how far we get? Like 20 minutes into the show?
Yeah. I can't remember where I said I first saw the original Star Trek because it was so long ago that we were talking about it. But
I forgot.
The
have to
two
rewatch
of you,
it.
Martin and Jeff, you guys reminded me, Martin by the collectibles and stuff, and Jeff by saying 1975. I actually remembered
bubblegum cards are coming out and all that stuff.
I actually remembered where I first ran into Star Trek, and I don't know if you guys had it at your school, Marty, but we used to have the Scholastic bookmobile.
Sure, the book fairs, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. Nice.
This is, I
What's
have
the
two of
copyright
these.
on that?
75.
Yeah.
It's 75. Okay.
1975. This is
That's a companion for your cartoon show, brother.
this is where
That's
This
when they
is
got
where
all
I-
the cast back together to do the cartoon. That was like 74, I think, or 75. So that has to be a companion piece.
Was that? I think it was like 70. Might have been 73, 74, in and around there. The animated series.
Could be. I got one of those on here too. The Trouble with Tribbles. They give you the animated version of that show. That's a weird cartoon, man.
It was very.
I tried.
It was very typical of what Filmation was putting out at that time. You know, a lot of rotoscoping, a lot of redundant movement and actions again and again.
kind of like
And I'm talking about the
Super Friends.
storyline.
Oh,
The storyline was just out there, man.
Some of them were out there. So there's a handful that are actually pretty good. I think Yesteryear stands out in everybody's mind as being a good one. Yeah, that was it had to be 73, I think. Yeah. I wish I had half the stuff I had back then.
Yeah. I had the walkie-talkie,
Oh, everyone
blue-
had the walkie-talkies.
the blue
No,
walkie-talkies.
I
that
did, man. I won
Yeah.
one.
You had to pull up
Pull up
the,
the
antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like on the show.
And you had the base unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was a lot of creativity with some of that. I was going to ask you, in those logs, did they ever show flames shooting out the back of the cells? Because I remember even before then, Golden Key Comics had the rights.
Oh, those.
And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
right on the cover, I think the Enterprise is upside down with flames shooting out of the nacelles.
I just remember seeing the first one. I used to have it when I was over at the Retro Expo with John, and this guy had autographed by Bill Shatner. It was all graded, go for $500. I'm like, damn, I wish I kept that comic.
Wait, is it? Oh, I see exhaust. Close enough.
Okay. So
I can't see.
it's
I'm
not
too old.
it's
Venting a
not,
little plasma there. Yeah.
Yeah, don't let AOC see that.
We need a carbon neutral Enterprise.
And then you got some. I guess this is the big battle scene.
Grace
Nice.
the word, John. You sound a little gargly.
Wait, they stole that. Wait, that bottom panel? That's clearly the space station from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yep, right there. The round one with the
Yep.
That's from 2001.
So
Doesn't Paramount own it anyway? Or is that no? It's MGM. Never mind.
Yeah, the comic books in those days, trademarking and rights were kind of a gray area as far as they were concerned.
well,
I missed those days.
everybody's on strike now because of the same thing. So things are a little. But where were we?
Pike.
You sound a little grovelly. Can you guys hear him? Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
talking about
very
you.
staticky.
Yeah.
Boost your matter
Okay.
stream.
Don't make me do this.
Here we
Are we
go.
gonna
We're
lose
all
them again?
Bye, guys. The shortest podcast ever, 55 minutes.
Or we did 10 5-minute long ones. So do they cumulatively add up? Or
Man,
Still not through the
literally
episode.
after an hour, I'm like going, man, I gotta get to going. I got some video games to play. Plus, we're not even that far in that episode, so it's gonna be a long podcast.
There he is.
there he is.
I can't hear him.
John, if
So-
you can hear us Beep once.
Morse code, dude.
Let's get some Pike beeps in here just for fun and games.
Yeah, I can't believe how much special stuff comes with these. Like there's the Trouble of Tribbles
Yeah,
in the mill.
did I get those?
This is a good box set.
I can't remember.
This is
if
the
I got
Blu-ray
those.
box set.
Yeah,
It's got tons of special features I haven't seen yet, but I remember seeing a lot of it too. It's on other like laser disc versions and all that. So,
well, I bought them on VHS. I bought them on DVD.
That's where you first saw the Cage.
Actually, I bought them twice on VHS. I got them once from Columbia House, and then when Paramount put them out. Everybody remembers Columbia House. Remember those guys?
Yeah, I was getting laser discs from them.
Yeah, I missed out on the laser discs, but I have, my friend had them, and they were very, very cool. And now I got them on Blu-ray, and I got digital codes, and every time I say I'm not buying them again, I wind up buying them again. So,
well, I haven't got digital codes with these, so this must be the one before the other Blu-ray you got, maybe.
You know what? Paramount is very stingy with that. Like you got to buy that and the digital code separately.
Oh, no wonder. Okay.
Yeah,
I got these brand new, but they didn't have a code in there at all.
Yeah, they are notoriously cheap with that stuff. It's almost Disney-esque with the way they nickel and dime you. Like you own it, it's yours, but they won't give you a digital code for it. I usually wait.
Yeah, plus the digital code is probably for the enhanced version anyway, like what's on Paramount Plus right now, right?
Both are available online. Usually I wait. Vudu is pretty good. I wait till there's a sale, and you could get the original series, either version, for probably, I think I paid $28 for the remastered ones.
Well, I got them all here though.
Yeah, so I travel a lot.
I got 3 versions of the Cage, so
yeah, I wanted I wanted to talk to him because I want to see if he remembers the first time he actually saw the Cage complete, because when we were growing up, that wasn't included in the syndication package.
No, the first time I saw the Cage was on VHS in '86 when it came out.
Yeah, they did probably 85 or 84. They did a special, like I remember Nimoy hosted it.
Mm-hmm. Nimoy.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. In October 15th of 1988, the TV premiered restored to full colors, what they got you in 88. And October 14th of 86 was a VHS release and first time you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was only seen by NBC executives in 1965.
Yeah. A lot of it that was pieced together, and it did show up from time to time, was a lot of black and white footage, a lot of soundtrack missing, that sort of stuff. But they eventually did get all the color elements in the soundtrack and were able to put it out. So I remember that was
88.
Oh, okay. So here's the rest of the story we missed out in the Menagerie. Not that we missed out much. I mean, they really did pad that thing out. But it was.
Well, I really liked the idea that they had Roddenberry talk about it. That was really cool.
Yeah. It's it's very interesting, and the thing that I really like about the Cage is, like, I hate to say it's almost like you asked AI to write a Star Trek story. Like, it's so close to what we all know and love, but it's still just in its infancy. It's like it's off, but not off that far that you can't enjoy it. Smiling.
It's like reading the original script from A New Hope. Right back when he was just naming it. I think it was called Luke's
Star Killer.
Star Killer. And that version of the script is way cool, but way different than what we wound up with. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that special because it was like they hyped it for weeks. And again, it was on WPIX, our local channel, which was Star Trek's home for like through the 70s through the early 2000s. It was on. Oh, there he is.
Wow.
John.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
you-
good.
Do you remember when PIX did the special playing the cage in color for the first time?
No,
Okay.
as I tell Jeff a lot, and when I watch these programs for the first time, I was outside playing baseball,
Oh yeah, you were one of
so
those guys.
I was one of those.
I've seen the pictures. There's evidence he did play baseball.
Yes, and I actually have a ribbon here where I came in second place to Craig Biggio in the pitch hit and run one
Oh
year,
yeah.
and we all know how that went. He goes to the Hall of Fame, and here I can't even get my freaking computer working right.
You need tech support.
Oh,
I guess-
Here we go again. Oh, there you go.
No, because you had said you were watching Star Trek at 11 o'clock on PIX, right?
Midnight, actually. I misspoke.
Midnight. Okay.
Yeah, because 11 was a great setup. 11 was The Odd Couple. 11:30 was The Honeymooners, and then 12 o'clock we slid into Star Trek, and then 1 o'clock Twilight Zone. So how I was
Goes
ever able
backwards
to
for
get up
me.
for how I was ever able to get up for school the next day is amazing.
See, I did basically the same thing, and Jeff and I discussed this 2 weeks ago. I was 2 channels down on WOR watching Monty Python into Benny Hill into the Paul Hogan show.
Yep. Yep.
So that's where I geeked out.
What a glorious time to be alive, huh?
Yes. And you'd sit close up to the TV watching Benny Hill, hoping that towel dropped when he's chasing somebody around the woods in medieval England.
Yep. Are you kidding? We were watching it hoping your parents wouldn't come in because you weren't supposed to be watching Benny Hill.
Oh no, my mother, my mom.
Oh, that's
she's
true.
British.
She encouraged
sat-
it.
Yes, she sat me down to watch Benny Hill. So
That's right. No, my dad was cool with it. My mom, not so much.
yeah, the good old days when you had 4 channels to watch.
Yeah.
And so where are we? We just
We went
Let's-
off the rails.
Well, I'm not sure
Yeah.
anymore, man.
yeah,
Jeremy-
we went off the rails.
Well, I mean,
That was like 30 minutes ago.
he just went into the cage and he woke up, and yeah, that's
Oh,
where we
Lord.
were. We're not even halfway through the episode.
That's like 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes in.
Do we get to the part where the highly advanced
Now
starship
it's not
captain
even.
throws himself against plexiglass?
Oh, right.
Not yet.
Now
he does
was
that. That's
this
kind. Yeah,
episode-
that's where he's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this episode where he hits it and he goes
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now is it actually there? Because everything else is fake in the entire episode. You know, they actually blow a hole with those laser cannons,
But they can see it.
but
It's
they
illusion.
can't see it. So is
It's
the
a
only thing that's
it's a philosophical quandary. So if Pike throws himself up against a force field, but no one's there to witness it, does it make that woo 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 sound?
yeah.
They have to be pretty good if you put in imagining hitting a wall and bouncing off of it, because I would think physics would still kind of make you fall flat on your face. I think it is there because later on they show him having shot a hole in it.
Hmm.
Right. Okay, that's right. This reminds me of now. What was first, Twilight Zone?
For
Yes.
me, yeah.
Twilight Zone was earlier than Star
Yeah,
Trek.
Twilight Zone came out at 10:30 after the news, and then 11 o'clock came Star Trek because I
No,
couldn't
not-
stay up past
that-
midnight.
Not
He means
what
what-
time was it on TV?
It
What
came in
year?
when it was
Oh.
released.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Oh, 50s
Twilight Zone was
Twilight Zone.
early
Or 60s.
60s.
Yeah, early 60s.
Because this was very Twilight Zone-y.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of Twilight Zone right now. I'm getting tired.
So it's like the sounds in the background, because we had discussed the sounds on the planet, and everything that happened was very, very Twilight-ish. Not Twilight-ish, Twilight Zone-ish. No
sparkly
werewolves and
vampires.
vampires.
No vampires.
No sparkly
vampires.
Vulcans.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Spock was kind of sparkly
Well,
when he touched the plants.
No, that was Data.
I'm assuming that was probably some kind of intergalactic weed, and he just got it in his face. That explains the big grin. Yeah.
He's like, hey man, hit me with that another one, man. Hey man, Pike, pass that over here, man.
Ensign Cheech, Ensign Chong. I need a full analysis of this plan.
Just roll it up in that paper, man, and take it with us. But so how does he actually figure out that they're giving him hallucinations? Or
Who, Pike?
yes,
Through his.
is it the girl that keeps changing into what he likes, and he
Yeah.
kind of puts two and two together, and he says, hey, this isn't real. I can see what's happening.
Yeah, he figures it out piece by piece.
So at the end,
We're there at the end?
I'm jumping.
We're
jumping.
Oh, good. I was falling asleep. I'm sorry.
We just hit a wormhole. So
It's a time warp.
so at the at the end, is there two Pikes?
And there's an illusion of Pike that they created to keep her
Ravina.
happy.
Yeah. So
So the whole repopulate the surface, not really what they were looking for, because I don't know.
Companion for her. That's all.
they give a speech saying you guys are far too dangerous to keep in captivity, and we're not going to do this. Yeah. You punched a hole in our nice, clear force field here, and you grabbed the one guy when he was trying to feed you. We don't need the aggravation.
Oh, right. Yeah. He could barely get his big head through the door.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to pull through and see his head shaped like a block, having to shake it off.
What's the sound they make? Audio, 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 audio.
I would love to get a clear version of that for my, instant messenger notification. That or the classic Star Trek bong when something would appear.
So we have Pike goes off back on the Enterprise. Everybody's happy. Did anybody? Now, there was no red shirts in this episode. Did anybody die? Nope.
No.
Except for the people in the crash at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no deaths.
No crew members died in this episode.
No, the deaths start mysteriously piling up when they get a new chief medical officer. Kind of like all those mysterious deaths on Murder, She Wrote,
Well, I mean, the next episode they make up for it in Man Trap. So, I mean, they're dropping like flies.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, I don't think we get a red shirt death. Not in the first two episodes.
I'm trying to think. I don't even know if there was red shirts yet.
There wasn't. Yeah, they were still doing the beige gold blue
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah, because the transporter, a lot of people were wearing coveralls. or overalls or the one-piece suits.
The tech uniforms,
Yeah.
the black T-shirt underneath.
Yeah, they all looked.
Yeah, they
Very-
all
So let me ask you guys this
they
question.
look like one of the gangs from
Now-
the Warriors.
Man. Let me ask you this question, guys. Being Strange New World, we got Pike back. Do you think they should revisit some of the storyline of the Cage in season 2?
Well, I think that's where they're going, right? Because he's having visions.
Well, they did
He
kind
got
of
his
burnt later
death?
on. But
Right,
that was
didn't he-
later on. That was after Menagerie.
they did that in Discovery. They went back to Talos 4. That's
With
the only
Pike?
clear memory I have of Discovery.
They went back for the first time.
They went back to Talos 4. Vina was still there. The Telosians were still there. When Spock was kind of out of his mind with the beard. Does that ring a bell, anybody?
Now I'm thinking about Mirror Mirror now.
Yeah, that's what I was
Not-
thinking. Mirror. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Discovery.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
I've only
did-
watched it once, but I do know that. Yeah, he has.
yeah, I punched out when they
Yeah.
went to the 32nd century. So
Yeah,
I tried, guys. I really tried.
I'll have to go back and watch that particular season where Pike or the Enterprise shows up, because to me that's when it started getting halfway decent.
Yeah, end of season 1. Season 2 was pretty good. They brought in Pike, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, I know at that time they did go back to Talos 4, which was great to see. Still making those weird noises with the plants. I mean, the Telosians look great. They didn't really change the makeup up that much. Made them a little bit more modern. Guy was still wearing the
I've never
Mercedes
seen it.
logo necklace. You know,
And I've never seen that show. I've
Discovery.
seen some of it, but not. Well, the 7 and 9's in there, right?
No, that's Picard.
No, that's Picard.
No.
Yeah.
No. Discovery? No.
Dis-
I don't know anymore.
You're thinking
Yeah.
Voyager?
Okay, Voyager. That's right. Okay. To me, shows to keep track of, man. There was a Star Trek and Next Generation. I was barely handling that.
Yeah.
So
See,
So
we had
where
it
does-
easy. We only had 2 up to a certain point, and then as soon as Deep Space Nine came out, everybody was like, "Oh God, we got to keep track of this one too."
yeah,
Deep
And then
Nine.
Enterprise and
And then Voyager, then Enterprise.
So I
And
never
then-
saw Enterprise. Scott Bakula, I was too used to being that where he travels through time. I couldn't buy him as a captain.
Actually, I did enjoy Enterprise. I enjoyed what it was trying to do, but I think the problem with Enterprise is that it was very limited because of all the continuity that was coming ahead.
mhm.
Like they did try and do things, but it was very difficult for them to work around future history, and they had probably the worst ending of any show, Star Trek or not, I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
I didn't like that, but yeah, I'd watch Scott Bakula in anything. So
Yeah, he's great.
I was all for watching Enterprise. So
We did
so
get
you
screwed out
want
of
a
that beautiful.
you want a TV show? You want a Scott Bakula, Harrison Ford TV show?
I would not be mad.
I don't remember him doing too many movies except for that unnecessary roughness with that model chick in there. He was in there. He played a football player going back to college and playing the game, man. Had the guy from Pretty Woman in there too. Can't remember his name either.
And how in
Know what I'm talking
God's
about?
name has he never been cast as Dracula? It writes itself. I mean, I can see
You're
the
just
post
waiting.
now.
You're just waiting to use that one.
Dracula.
He's got a whole list on his board right in front of his, behind his computer at one-liners.
Oh, that's great. I
man.
like that.
No, but you'd think someone in Hollywood would be like, high concept. I love it. Let's give it $500 million budget and
Scott Bakula as Dracula.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't even make me go into the Count Chocula joke. So yeah. So
Where does Strange New Worlds take place in the timeline? Is it
It's before the original series.
so he hasn't
Remember,
been the
Captain Pike's in
Talos.
control.
He hasn't been the Talos yet.
he has. So it picks up a couple of years after that stop off in Talos. So it's supposedly about 13 or 14 years between that and when James T. Kirk takes command of the Enterprise. So they have a couple of year window there to play around with. I have not watched any Strange New Worlds yet. I know I've been bad, but my son wants to binge watch it with me. So when he's back, we just finished Picard a couple weeks ago, which is a killer with him going to school right now. But he loved it. So he watched Discovery with me. So he was introduced to Pike and all of that. So, but from the bits and pieces I've seen and I've heard, it's really supposed to be very good.
So was the
It's really
Enterprise
good.
in mothballs? Who was the captain of the Enterprise in those 13 years?
Pike.
Yeah. So he goes to
forgot,
Talos
John?
4. He continues to have adventures for 13 years, and Kirk takes over. But the
So what's he doing on his ranch in the beginning, riding a horse?
that was Dream.
We're watching
them
trailers
begging him
again.
Begging him to come back. Please
Watch
come
the
back.
show, not the trailers, ma'am.
Well,
Yeah,
you'll
John,
like it.
you can
You'll like
watch
it.
season 1 before season 2 comes
yeah,
out.
Well, to be fair, at the end of Discovery, before it went into the 32nd century, I think Enterprise and Discovery had taken a little bit of a pounding. So maybe she was in dry dock. Because they actually explained during Discovery that Enterprise was kept away from the Klingon conflict because they were the last best hope should the Federation lose.
But I thought the Enterprise showed up.
It did.
Okay. I thought maybe I was remembering wrong.
No, you were remembering correct. They
seeing your brain here. I only have so much to work with.
Again, for a show I didn't like, I seem to remember a lot about it. Once Lorca was gone,
man, I like that character.
I could make a killer whale joke there, but I don't want the rim shot again. Once Lorca was gone, Pike was temporarily assigned captaincy of the Discovery because Enterprise needed some fixing up.
Mm-hmm.
But he was annoyed because they were purposely kept out of the conflict. So what I think is interesting, Pike knows about his future, and that's kind of hanging over his head in Strange New Worlds, is no matter what he does, this is his future. So, what do you do today when you know you're going to be winding up with a non-LED bulb being your only source of communication?
But that's one possible future. Remember, every action he takes changes that outcome.
Right, but
they addressed that in the season 1.
Yeah, but the Klingon with the time crystals said, "No, this is it." Like he basically said, "No."
I think he said no matter what he did, that's how he was going to end up.
Please don't get me started with time crystals. That was almost the point where I was like, enough. Yeah.
Why do they
time crystals
write these storylines?
It's like the writers of Star Trek have a boggle wheel with things that they want, and then they just spin it and they go, okay, Pike, Enterprise, time crystals.
I mean, like Mad Libs. I need an adjective. So Captain Pike takes the smelly Enterprise to the Donut Galaxy. All right, get on it. Make it a 2-parter. I mean, some of it has been so bad that I really think they put a calling out to anyone who wrote any season 2 episode of Space 1999.
And I don't. Sometimes I wonder if any of them have ever watched any of the, or if they're even fans of Star Trek. Had they ever watched Star Trek?
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of them say they've never seen an episode.
It shows.
And they shouldn't be hired.
You know,
I thought they were on strike, man.
That's the one good thing about when Roddenberry was around. Everything went past him. So we didn't wind up with strange continuity. James R. Kirk. We didn't wind up with conflicting information, bizarre retrocons. You know, somebody has to say, we did this. Are we carrying this over? You know, like, John, you remember the Starfleet speed limit? That was
No.
never mentioned again. We're destroying subspace. 3 months later,
Oh.
Warp 9. Okay.
Isn't that why they built Voyager?
When it's folding
With
the
the-
cells.
With its folding the cells so they didn't damage.
You want to tell me how that works? Yeah, but up here it's fine. Down here, not so much. Up
Well, it's
here,
like
good.
it's-
Down there,
Hey,
no.
it's just like sitting in a restaurant. Once you stand up, you got to put your mask on.
I guess so. Yeah.
But well,
I
I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was for something done in the late 60s or mid 60s. It was good. It was very, very, like I said, Twilight Zone. I could see where they were saying it's too cerebral. You know, the next thing, the thing is, you know, the next episode is Kirk and his. Does he have his shirt off in the next one? I don't know, because that was.
It tears. It tears. Yeah.
But
I can understand the concern, because when you think about the audience back then, right? Even today, I would say that most of that episode would have gone right over their heads. And the very famous story is and most of the writing was so good and above what was normally seen. After the next episode that we see, Roddenberry's father famously went out and apologized to everyone he knew, saying, you know, he'll get back to good stuff sooner or later. I mean, thanks, Dad.
But the thing is, I mean, you had Twilight Zone out, and some of those episodes were out there.
Out there. Oh, yeah.
I think it was kind of presumptuous to think that the audience would be too stupid to understand what was going on in the episode.
So
yeah, some episodes really reached the outer limits, and
that's the other show.
Wrong franchise.
Yeah, they control the horizontal and the
concept.
vertical. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask the $1 million question. Do you prefer this bridge or the one that we see for the next 79 episodes?
The next bridge.
Yeah.
There's something about this bridge that I love. I don't know what it is. It might be the lack of the primary colors all over the place. But to me, this bridge seems a lot more functional.
I don't know. They had too many weird looking
Not
things.
functional, grounded. It seemed more grounded. That's my opinion. That's why I was curious.
I'd have to look at a side by side. I guess it could be just what I'm used to.
Hey, they had a dot matrix printer, for God's sakes, on that bridge. That was 35 years before dot matrix printer. So and somewhere I could just imagine there's some poor yeoman who's assigned to the paper closet who has to go around reloading the paper on all these stations.
I think it runs down from the console through a hole in the, and it goes down through a Jeffries tube all the way down to the stationery store that's located.
You know, it goes from the
run by the lower decks,
from the primary to the secondary hull, just a ream of paper traveling down decks. Oh, that might
Yeah.
explain in that one episode when Scotty's in the tube and he just rips the paper and keeps on going.
We've uncovered more Star Trek truth tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you for being here. Deb, thanks. Jeff, what do you got coming up this week?
We're still rocking with the Party Arcade, man. Check it out. Got some cool stuff coming up. And the Collector Zone has an unboxing. You watched 2 Wednesdays ago, John showed me a collectible he really liked, and I scored.
Deb, what do you got coming up on Geek News Now?
I haven't heard anything about MCU Mondays, but for this week's episode of Star Wars Cantina Happy Hour, we will be we'll be talking about the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Did you get to see it in theaters? Did you have one near you?
No, I live in a small town. We only got one theater, and it's like, yeah. I don't even have reclining seats, for Pete's sakes.
I'm
just worried about which one they're showing you.
It was great.
Which
was
version?
It good?
Which version of
Was
what? Jedi?
Yeah. Was it
Yeah.
special edition?
It's a special edition, original.
Yeah, no, well, it's the
special
special
edition.
edition. But
Okay.
I tell you, the
Was it
sound
Disney
mix was
Plus special
fantastic.
edition?
Where'd you
But
see
was
it?
it Disney Plus?
Yeah, it was the Disney Plus version. There's a new theater in Huntington, John, where the Walt Whitman Theater was. There's an
Okay.
AMC 16 there now, which was great, except I lost
Oh.
my wallet. So
Ooh, ouch.
I blame Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, we had it. I had tickets for it, but it was only playing down in McKinney, which is 45 minutes away. And I had the grandson here, and I didn't feel like he wanted to see it. He fell asleep in Mario. I took him to see Mario for his first movie, and I didn't think he would enjoy Return of the Jedi. So I'm gonna crack that egg when maybe when he turns 5.
Come on, Grandpa,
So-
take him to the original trilogy. They're going to release it again, right? For the 50th, they'll probably release all 3 again back in the theaters.
Well, Disney needs money, right? So
Yeah, don't even get me started.
But I got my tickets June 4th, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Going to see that.
Nice.
That looks good.
But, no, not the new one.
Oh, the original?
The original Raiders, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Raiders, sorry.
The one of the 3 that came out. One of Indiana Jones is a trilogy, right?
Should have been, yeah. Yep. Should have been.
Well, Martin, thank you for joining us. We are taking off next week. I have a Cabin in the Woods booked down in Waco, which is kind of like, I don't know, Cabin in the Woods in Waco.
Well, I recommend you actually watch Cabin in the Woods before you go to the Cabin in the Woods.
I will not.
Oh, no. Good flick. It'll actually enhance your enjoyment of the Cabin in the Woods.
Now, which one is that? Is that the one with the DVD cover where the cabin's floating?
Yes, and kind of
Okay.
twisty.
Because I was thinking of the other one, the Shamal Lama Ding Dong movie.
No, nobody should sit through those. Yeah, definitely the floaty one. Check out because there's a twist in it that I won't ruin for you, and it was so fun. Highly recommended.
Okay, all right, I'll put it on my list.
Yeah.
So, Martin, thanks for joining us tonight.
Happy to be here.
I see you got your Star Trek poster over your shoulder.
Yes.
And you have your prototype Dyson sphere in the background.
Yeah. We're actually in the midst of kind of redecorating down here because now my son has kind of claimed the basement as his own, so I'm putting it back. But we also got my Jaws 2 painting that I had done from the poster. And I can't turn it around or I would show you the rest of my fleet over there and my Jaws shelf and all my fun stuff. But that's a podcast in itself. So
You're a big Jaws fan, right?
Love Jaws, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I watch Jaws every summer to kick off the summer season. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm not very good at doing this. Right here.
There?
Right there. Right there. So let me see if I can.
Oh, Quince.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Quince Shark Fishing Expeditions.
You talking about sharking for a living?
Yeah, I picked that up for like $1 somewhere at a marketplace.
Well, I'm
down
very
there.
excited because the coming to Broadway this year is a play that they did in London last year called The Shark is Not Working. And it's basically a 3-man play set on the Orca. And I can't wait to see it. Robert Shaw's son is playing Robert Shaw in it.
Oh.
He wrote it. He wrote it and he directed it on the London West End, and it's coming to the States, and I will be first in line to buy tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, if we can only get Star Trek the musical.
No.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Listen, with the way things are
we
getting,
don't need it, man.
the way things are getting turned out lately, Yeah.
Be part of the solution, not the problem. No musical, Star Trek wise.
The problem is I can't figure out how to monetize this obsession. So,
Oh, man.
Just like this.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Back to the Future musical? See, I can't get into it.
I
I
had
like musicals.
I
Someone
thought that was a
else
little
saw it.
shaky, but
a lot of jazz hands for some reason.
too soon.
You can get letters, man. Send them all down here.
Listen, you can't travel back and forth through time that much and not expect to have some kind of neurological thing happen.
Yeah, and you see all these shows that prove time travel doesn't work, but I don't know. Maybe we should do a
Like a
time
remake?
travel. We should do a time travel episode one night and just talk about all the movies that had time travel and the differences between the theories. And by the end, we'll go, oh, if we can only go back an hour and fix this piece of crap that we're talking about. So,
It's
Back to
an
the
hour
podcast.
and 35 minutes now. It's an hour and 35 minutes now.
what, are we keeping you up?
But it's a crisp
You want to go play
135. So
Well, half of it was, if I just take out the half of where everybody's just staring at me because I can't get anything working, we'll be down to like 20 minutes.
Kind of like now.
Yeah.
So
So,
you put up the edited version, and then on the Patreon you put the glitch-filled one for extra content.
well, I
That's called
remember,
a podcast, man.
I remember
The whole
the,
podcast. We market it like this for a reason.
hopefully they fall asleep while watching it and crank up the view hours. That's what that's
Paul says on the keyboard.
I'm yeah. Go to. I remember the first one that I did. I forget who we were interviewing, Jeff, but it was really there was so much technical glitches. I had a friend of mine from the WRCN days do a portions of this program have been edited because of technical glitches. It's like
Might have been Betsy Baker. I don't remember. I think so.
Yeah, that's it. It was Betsy. Yes. It was Betsy Baker.
We owe her
That
a
was
new
one of the
show.
worst ones.
We owe her a new show. She's a sweetheart.
You
Yeah.
got to get the old.
We should have her back on again.
You got to get the old TV thing that they'd put up when they were having technical difficulties. You know, the guy reaching into the camera trying to fix it. You know.
We just got bars and a high pitch.
No, we'd always get like weird, soft music and then a picture of "Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties." Now that
Not
I'm
different
older,
than
if I
South
saw
here.
that today, I'd be like, "This is it. They're taking over. This is it."
Right?
Back then, it was just some drunk running the board.
Well, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And next episode is The Man Trap. If you had to give us a quick synopsis, Deb, of what you've seen of The Man Trap, describe it for us.
In 2 words, salt vampire.
Oh, okay. Is that the one? Okay. I think I know which one that is. I think I've seen the beginning of that one so many times. That's where Kirk hands McCoy the straw and says, "Oh, don't you always bring a woman flowers?" Isn't that it?
Exactly.
And she keeps changing age. Everybody sees her differently. So it's
Yeah.
basically the same as this episode.
Which
Hallucinations.
And it has the big ass steel laser gun. Kirk gets to hold it this time.
Yep. And my 2-word synopsis would be phaser ricochet. When you see it, you'll know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all and anybody who tuned into this this mess.
Now.
I
It's
appreciate
our
it.
mess.
Wait.
Own it, man.
Let's
I'm
think
owning
about
it.
this. This is our cage. So this is the pilot nobody's meant
It's
to
all-
see.
It's all an illusion.
You may have to go back to the other format to keep us on track, like you did with Picard.
Yeah.
No, because it'll be like 5 hours long.
Yeah, I might have to go back and pull off images. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Whew. I feel
And
sorry
two
for
weeks,
you.
right?
2 weeks. You have
Next
2
month.
weeks to see the Man Trap. Actually, and then what is after that? We're moving into Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
thank God, because the 3rd episode
too.
is the one I don't like, and it's Charlie X. I hate that episode.
That episode scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
So what
that
is
he's
today?
saying?
Today's the 19th.
So we have
Yeah, so next month. We'll see you next month.
1, 2, 3, 4 weeks until the 15th. That's when Strange New World starts. 15th.
I think so. June, yeah.
Yeah, but you got to watch the whole season 1 first, John. That's going to be a week and a half for you right there.
Be something for you to do in the cabin in the woods.
Yeah, there's no internet.
That's where they can't hear you scream.
Yeah, that won't lead
All
to
right.
murder. That's good. Mhm.
All
You see
right.
John and News.
The FBI had, oh, should I say that?
He's bunkered down in the woods, man.
Yeah.
He's off the grid.
In Waco.
In Waco. Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
That's not to
Starting his own religion.
And if we all wind up being associated in your cult, that's going to be a problem.
yeah.
I think we started that a few years ago, so you're all right.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. We will talk to you in 2 weeks for the Man Trap. and then
Sounds like a strip bar.
yeah, it does. And well, I guess if you look at the episode, she does kind of move from crew member to crew member, doesn't she? So
And she gets around.
yeah. So, but I think I will grab the screen caps and run it that way, and we can talk about it. And I'll only do like maybe 95 screen caps.
So not 250 like we had one episode.
Yeah, not 250.
What are you making, a flip book?
Yeah.
That's not even, man. It's like in slow motion.
There was lots of things in Picard that I was just, oh, that's cool. Click, that's cool. Click, that's cool. Click.
Yeah.
And we basically, if I hit the button fast, we could watch the episode. It was like
click, 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 click. Like the old Viewmasters where the hand crank ones.
Yes, yeah. So, all right, guys, hang out after the show's over. I want to talk to you a little bit. And those of you watching at home, again, I apologize. Namaste.
Live long and prosper.
CBS cares. Live long and prosper. We will see you soon. We'll see you soon.
One.
Take it easy,
Have a good
guys.
one.